Hi everyone, it's Jeanette here from Enthusiastic Gardener, and I would like very much for you to join me on a tour of my garden for the July garden tour, and it has changed quite a lot since the June one and definitely since the May one. I don't know if we had a May one actually, the April one. Yes, we've done a lot. It's time to sit back and rest and just enjoy it. So please join me for a garden tour. It has just rained actually, so everything is just had its morning watering. So let's go. There's a lot of changes and everything. Richard said last night, in the last couple of days, everything has just gone wild, and he's right. Everything is just looking lovely and it's just gone crazy. And as you know, my crowning glory is my beautiful new lawn. And I was watching Gardener's World this morning from last night, and jobs for the weekend was trimming the lawn edges. And I said to Richard, you would have had to trim the lawn edges. And he said, thank goodness I don't have to do that. One less job on the list. So I don't quite know where to start. Now this view here, I love this little view, and when I sit in my lounge, this is the view I can see. So let's go around. Where should we go? I don't know. Let's start over here. This bed. Now Richard said to me last night that this bed needs some colour. Well, I'm open for that challenge, and he's right. It's very nice. It's very green and white, but yes, I'm sure there's room for a bit of colour. I want to show you this. This was my smoke bush, and it was, I thought, dying, and I put it there and it loves it. So I'm so happy. It loves it here. It's really thriving, and that's my it's not potentilla down there, which I moved, and that looks very happy. And then I'm hoping this will be the crowning glory of this border, which is my limelight hydrangea, and you can see that hopefully some paniculatas are forming, so I'm very excited for that. I still haven't got round to pruning this euonymus, and so it's taken on a rather shaggy appearance. But as you know, I did prune my Fatsia japonica. I took all the old leaves off, and that's always looks lovely. I love my Fatsias, as I said. And as also I said in a recent video, this is a cherry tree, and yes, it's far too close. So I will move that forward or elsewhere, but I can't do that yet because it's the middle of summer. And the begonias that I potted up myself with my own bare hands, potted those up, and yes, they're looking very healthy and happy. And someone told me what this was called in the last video, and I've forgotten again, but it's very pretty, lovely ground cover. The alliums, they need to come out. They're coming out probably today. And they were planted a year ago, and like tulips for me, alliums, I think I would just always replant every year because they never come up as good. And I just think in this, my particular zone, which is a zone 8, equivalent to US zone 8, that I just plant new ones every year. And a Cornus alba sibirica dogwood. This is its second year, and this year in the winter, when I hopefully get beautiful red stems, then I can cut them down in March. I didn't touch it at all this winter, or spring rather. I didn't cut it, but it's doing very well. And look, I have a little flower on this begonia. I moved this pot forward, it was at the back, but you forget when you do things how much everything's going to fill out. So I had to move it to the front. And those Shasta daisies, really, they could be moved. because they're a little bit squashed and a little bit hidden. As is my little cat, getting hidden, more and more disappearing. And over the back I have my crocosmia, and that will be orange, and that will be very beautiful. So I do have one bit of colour here, this beautiful Achillea, and this is its second year, and that came back from nothing this year, and it's looking good. It did flop over, so I've had to put a support around that. As you can see, it's a very floppy plant, but it's worth it. It's very nice. And I have another squashed plant at the back there. That's an Sedum Autumn Joy. That needs moving. Everything seems to have got so big. And another crazily unmanicured euonymus. So there's always things to do in the garden. So that's that border. Richard is asking for more colour. So that's, I can easily sort that out. Now we're going around the back here, and it hasn't stopped raining, but I decided we'll just put a hat on instead. So it's warm, so that's all that matters. This is a beautiful Chinese plumbago, and I hacked this to the ground. And when I say hacked, I mean I didn't even look at where the buds were. I just chopped it away, and it's amazing. I need to put supports on this because I've just remembered this last year it started really flopping, so I need to get onto that. And you need to put supports on before they are needed. That is the key, I am told. This is an apple tree. These are all first, I've only just planted these apples this maybe March. All of my trees I've only just planted, so they're not going to have any fruit this year. And I am my very first tree. In fact, as you know, it's an orchard. If you have 5 or more trees, you can call it an orchard. However, as you'll see when we come round, one of my trees is struggling, so yes, I may have to not call it an orchard anymore if that one dies. This is a beautiful Heuchera Dark Secret, and I had 3 here. I've moved a lot of plants when I did my new circle border, and because I just wanted to use the plants that I already had rather than go out and spending a fortune. So I had 3, and goodness knows how these 3 would have fitted in, because it's just as well really. That's taking up all the room itself. Now my Clematis, they have not all, I had a Clematis on every trellis, and you can see there are gaps, and they have not been so successful. That one, goodness knows, I don't think anything's going to happen to that one. This one, however, has gone crazy. That's a more late flowering one, and I do think actually there's a weed in amongst there. Those big leaves are weeds. I need to get those. And these beautiful flowers are not from this one, but from this one, which is very happy. Yes, you can see a weed, a thorny thing, something in there. I need to get rid of that. So the flowers are from this one, which is done beautifully. I do have all the names written on them. That's a Viticella, the purple ones, but I put the names on little signs because I'm never going to remember them. I always think I will, but I don't. This is a lovely little lace cap hydrangea. I don't even remember planting that, but I must have planted it at some point. And the evening primrose is another very floppy plant. I need to find another. I have to rob Peter to pay Paul with all my staking systems, so I need to get one from somewhere else. We have some volunteer meteor shower verbenas have just popped up there, which are very pretty, so they will look nice in a little while. Another not so good Clematis, but I'd never really get worried if something is not looking good. Well, it's not happy where it is. I'll try moving it, and then if that's the end of its life, that's the end of its life. You can't get upset. And I have put beautiful 3 because I had 3 before. You can see one over the back. They are my salvia hot lips, and they each one last year got as big as that fountain. The fountain needs an overhaul and a paint job, which it will get soon. Yes, they got as big as that, and it just looked magical, like a wispy, willowy area. And I still have some gaps. Don't know what to put in those yet. It's raining quite a lot actually. I'm getting very wet. Another hydrangea, and that one is a mop head, do you call them? I think they're called mop heads. Yes, or is that a lace cap? I'm not sure. Anyway, it's a hydrangea. And I have some beautiful plants here. That is a euonymus, and my salix, which is my flamingo tree. Very willowy. We have the remains of the allium still poking up, and I do love the seed heads. This, what's it called? Oh my gosh, my mind goes blank. It is called a sedum. A sedum. It never does very well. Don't think it's very happy there. But the nandina is beautiful, and I love these nandinas because they have colour all year round, all different colours of reds and yellows, and very, very beautiful. And this is another hydrangea. This is its first full year. It's a little lime. Didn't do very much at all last year, and I don't think it even flowered. My begonias again at the back. Is that a flower? No, that's not a flower. That is just petals from my rose. Mahonia. Now, I am taking advice from my very good friend Una at Granny's Garden, because these top bits, as you can see, are not looking very good. The very top bits look nice, but there's this middle section, and I'm going to chop it down. I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to cut it off just at kind of, where's my finger, this point here. And that, I hope, will rejuvenate, and I think it will look quite cute, and it will look strong and healthy. And yes, because look, those branches. Yes, we'll do that very soon. And the roses, I've already done my first prune on the roses. This geum here was very beautiful with these lovely, lovely little orange flowers, and now we've got lovely seed heads. So I'm going to keep the seed heads because I think they're called interest in the garden. And then just behind we have a skimmia, which is getting enormous, very big and very beautiful. It has beautiful berries on it in the winter. And just behind that we have the Van Gogh totem pole Tuscan cypress tree, something like that. Anyway, so that's as far as I can walk this way without going into the circle. So let's go into the circle. And I have put different little areas of stepping stones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually. So it's very handy, plus it lets the dogs get in. So let's go on. We have here these at the back. Let's go into the circle, and I cannot tell you how much I love my lawn. It is, and Richard says this too, and he was the one who was against it. It is the best thing we've done, and I know it's not for everyone. And I was concerned about the worms. I thought, how are the worms going to cope? They can't get to the surface. So yes, I'm hoping that they're figuring it out, because I did feel bad about the worms. But anyway, let's not talk about the worms. Let's talk about this garden bed. And these are, yes, mini butterfly bush at the back. I got that from clearance at the end of last year and it looked in a terrible state, but this year it's flushing out. And this was another of the dark secrets which I told you about, which I moved. And I'm trying to get all different colours. My voice is going. I'm trying to get all different colours into each border. Now what I'm trying to do is each little section between stepping stones, I'm looking at that as a whole. So we would have that, and for example this would be the next one. I'm trying to look at those as a whole, and I think if they look nice, then I'm happy. We have here the calla lily, another heuchera, and I planted this salvia. I've planted about 4 salvias and the bees are just loving it. And the thing that makes me the happiest about my garden, this is my Cotinia red robin, and I did prune it, so I'm wondering if I'll get some new red tips. And there are my butterflies, which are dotted around, which I gave away, and I've posted those to Vivian Obelow, and she turns out she lives in Ireland. And Deborah, I'm sending her prize as well, the GB prize, which is the flower lamppost container, which I'll show you in a moment because it's doing very, very well. So yes, what else do I have? I have some osteospermums tucked in. I have a blue fescue. This fuchsia's doing very well, and of course the rain keeps knocking it back. And you can see bees, I love the bees. And an alstroemeria, which I planted, that's got buds on it already. So that's hopefully going to look lovely. The dahlias I planted, now do you know, I think I'm going to give up. With certain type of plants, the slugs love them. And you know, I put 12 slug traps down, it has not stopped them. Look what they do. They just eat everything. And so, but I'm learning what plants I can't have in my garden. That's what I need to do to solve the problem, because I'm not going to solve the problem. I just need to learn how to adapt. And I put beautiful little lobelias all around the edge, which haven't filled out yet, because this bit over here I did put them and I thought how pretty they looked. So I wanted to continue that, so you can see as we go around I have lots of little lobelias all over the edge. Let's just have a quick look at the back. That is my pear tree. That is the one that I don't think's looking very good. I don't know what's happening with that. And I planted this purple mauve plant, which is a butterfly loving trap. No, it's not a trap, I'm not trapping them. It is butterfly attractor, that's what I'm trying to say. The euonymus there I'd moved. Over the back is hibiscus rose of Sharon. I'm hoping that looks good this year, because that was another one, first time planted last year, so it didn't do all that great. Another salvia hot lips, bees love those, and I love them too. And at the back is my lilac. Now my lilac was to the top of the fence, and for the last 2 years it didn't have very good flowers, so I know that you have to prune them straight after they flowered because they're grow on old wood. So I just chopped it off. I didn't film it or anything. I just went out one day and just chopped it all off. And I didn't want to film it in case I wasn't doing it right, and I didn't want to give people the wrong advice. There is my other fatsia, my other beautiful fatsia, and I think it's just such a beautiful colour, because even though things are green, you can see there are all different colour greens. And these seedlings I was given by a friend, and I'm afraid I don't know what they are, but again you can see half of them have been eaten. You can see I have weeds because of course all the rain. You just have to do what you can to get rid of the weeds. This euphorbia hasn't been looking its best. That might come out. because I think it's past its prime. But look at the beautiful ruby wedding anniversary rose that my beautiful friend Juliet gave me for my 40th a couple of weeks ago. Now it is tucked in the back and it's very small, but on the tag it said it grew I don't know, I think it was like 1.2 meters, which is why I put it there. So although it's hidden at the moment, maybe next year. And we have a rather leaning, another Tuscan totem pole cypress, which needs to be restaked. There is the famous stick that Richard calls, and yes, it is a stick, let's face it, but I kind of like it. But it seems to have shooting little leaves, and normally I would take those off, but I think I'm going to leave those, see what happens with that. But I am fond of that, very fond. Let's just come forward a little bit just to show you this tiny section here. We have a blue fescue. Next to it we have a heuchera. This is my other little hydrangea, which I moved forward. It was just back a bit and I've brought it literally 18 inches forward. It seems to be doing very well. It's called Vanilla Phrase. That should have pink blooms. I think it starts white and then it fades into strawberry pink. And next to it is one of my most favourite plants in my garden, a perennial, and it's a veronicastrum. And I've been really looking forward to this veronicastrum because it has beautiful, what I always think look like a candelabra. This is my famous walkway of the Buxus, leading to my garden illusion gate, which is supposed to entice you to think there's a secret garden when no, it's just a mirror. I think that's very effective and it brings light into the area. This is a very dark old section. I have a beautiful berberis. These poppies were fabulous, but as you know, poppies are fabulous for a couple of days and that's it. But I do like the seed heads. They're very nice, but I think I need to chop that down again because I chopped it down last year after Monty told us to, and that was the result. Loads of seed heads instead of one that I had last year. I have my apple tree that's getting munched as well. I try not to spray anything really. I don't. I try to do it organically. Well, I do it organically, but and that's the result. This is a rhododendron which never ever flowers. I think it flowered once about 2 years ago. I think someone told me he needs more acid soil and I haven't done anything about it, but I should. Now this is my Gunnera manicata, which is starting to take off. We don't know what's going to happen with that. We're expecting and hoping as well a huge thing that's going to go up and up and up and up, all the way up this high, and then create a big umbrella over this area. Well, we shall see, but I am actually quite excited about what's going to happen with that. So looking back, I love this view of my garden. These are fruit bushes, probably in completely the wrong place. This one's doing well, but I don't know if there will be any fruit. I'm not that bothered, to be honest. The birds love my bird bath. That's another crocosmia which will have orange flowers. So let's go back to the circle of life. Shall we go over here? Let's go this way. Another verbena meteor shower, a little heuchera, and the blue fesco grasses all bloomed and they're beautiful. I love them. Very, very lovely. Richard loves those too. As I said, that's my lobelia. Another little boxus and some carex. That is my famous spiral topiary that I created. Yes, less said about that the better. I've got a lot of marigolds. Yes, see, they get eaten. Everything gets eaten by the slugs and the snails. This sedum autumn joy, oh, I think this is going to be beautiful. And they're not supposed to like that much sun. Well, this is in the sun, and it's grown huge. We've got a euonymus topiary, another heuchera at the back. These are my lovely little lemon cypresses. The sun's come out now, so it's really nice, and it's very warm today. I have my hedge of French lavender, which I'm hoping will bush up a little bit. That's another of my salvias that I planted. And you can see I have dusty millers, and I have the alliums which need to be removed now. We have the other blue fescue. I've just got a mixture here, was things left over from my hanging baskets. So I've just plonked them down there. This is an Ascot rainbow euphorbia. Isn't it pretty? Because it's got a lot of different colour. I like that. Another salvia. The alliums were beautiful, very beautiful. But as I say, I will plant new ones. I've got some lovely heucheras. I'm afraid I don't know the name of all the heucheras. And we have lots of little seedlings that I planted, and I don't know what they are anymore. It's all going to be a big surprise. That berberis there is beautiful at the late sun because it catches it. There's Lucy, one of her pathways. She loves this grass. She lays on it. She goes on her back. She rolls all over like she's really happy. She loves the grass. That's my little Hebe. And this rose here is very beautiful, and I got that for about £3. I thought it was going to be red because when the buds are closed it looked red to me, but no, it's not. It's yellow, and that's doing well. I had to stake that too. So that's those. We've done this and this and this. Let's go back this way. I'm trying to confuse you to think that I've got a much bigger garden than I actually have. I have been thrilled with my Bollywood planter. It's just beautiful, and there's so many insects, as you can see, bees, and goodness knows, look, they're just everywhere. They love it. And I've made sure that if nothing else, I water my planters every single day. And we've just got some little geraniums dotted here and there. These are one of my favourites, busy lizzies. They do need a little bit of deadheading. I love busy lizzies, but you have to put them in the shade. They don't like being in the sun. And that was just a campanula which was white, but it's finished now. Another heuchera, and at the back I have an agapanthus, and that's got a little butterfly. So now we're at these steps which lead to the cabin door. This is my lovely ilex, my cloud ball, whatever you call it, ilex, which I love. And I have some osteospermums. I have bought another little nandina because I liked the other one so much. That was a freesia, but it rained and all the blooms got ruined, so I don't know what's going to happen to that. This is my beautiful David Austin rose, and yes, I need to deadhead, but look at the beautiful, beautiful blooms. Lovely. The geraniums in the back I like those because they're a completely different colour. I'm trying to do different colours all the time, different colours or different textures. This is my bay tree, which is lovely, and these are all suckers, and I've said on quite a few times that I needed to find something called Sucker Punch, but it's made by a company called Bonide, which is you can't get in the UK, and I can't find anything equivalent. I mean, they look so healthy, I suppose they would, wouldn't they? We're very happy that I'm letting them grow. And we have more lobelia, osteospermums over the back. I think we've done this bit, haven't we? I'm doing this bit twice. So yes, I think that's it. I'm so pleased. It's just looking so good. This is a fabulous time of year, isn't it? But we have to learn, and me in particular, have to learn to sit and enjoy it and not be, every time I sit down I'm like, there's a twig there that shouldn't be there. But I think all gardeners are like that. I suppose that's how we get things done. So let's just go quickly, well, let's go this way, because my sweet peas, which I grew from seed, well, I don't know what they're doing. I might not bother with sweet peas in future. It's in the sun in the afternoon here, but I don't know. Anyway, these are the climbing roses, which I planted earlier this year. Obviously it's their first year, so they've got a way to go, because I was expecting them to be all the way up this wall, which is why Richard put all the wires there. But it's doing very, very well. And look at all the buds here. All the buds, goodness. I mean, that's going to look nice, isn't it? And verbena at the bottom. Now this is a right mess, because once again, my tall marigolds have been eaten. They've taken off the tops. And all I'm left with is nasturtium, which Richard said, is that supposed to look like that? Which means he doesn't like the look of it. I quite like them actually. They got pretty flowers. But I grew these from seed, so I have affection. Look how big they are. I think they're nice. So I might take the marigolds out. In fact, yes, I think I should. Take the marigolds out and put something else, a little bit of colour. Let's just have a look at these. Beautiful containers. Now you must know and realise and cut me some slack, that's the words I'm looking for, but it's been raining so much, so they've had a battering, but they're looking fabulous, all of them. The lamppost one's looking wonderful, and that was the one that I did give to Vivian. No, not Vivian, Deborah. Oh, I'm confused. Deborah has won that. Yes, Deborah. So she's getting one of those, and it is really little planting pockets, but you can still fit such a lot in, can't you? This one's very pretty. And then I have that one. So I like those together for a little bit of jazz. And then these are my, oh yes, I did my new tomato staking system. I grew those tomatoes from seed. They were seed sent to me from my very good friend from Steve's Growing Space, who I haven't heard from for a while. I'm trying to get in touch with him, so I do hope he's okay. So they're all different plants that I grew from seed. Again, my lupins, I have one left. Everything has been eaten. Those spindly things at the back, they did flower and they did look very pretty. But look, I have some blossoms and some blooms. So all in all, I like my little cut flower garden. And then I have some geraniums there, and look at my beautiful Clematis. And this is a Clematis Justa, and it's got loads of buds, so that is going to look very nice, I hope. And last year I had terrible trouble. I lost two of the 3 stems, but things recover, don't they? Here is my first ever growing of strawberries, and I've been eating them. Look, I've had loads of strawberries, and there's loads of strawberries in amongst, you can see there, a nice strawberry, there it is. I eat them every day. I come out in the morning for my morning tour and always eat the strawberries, and I eat them just before they're quite ripe because I don't want the birds to have them. And my honeysuckle, there's 2 honeysuckles there, which is probably too much, but there are 2, and yes, it's growing upwards. It needs a little bit of help. It was doing it itself, but then the rain has pushed it all down. And this was the planter. I had all the water in. If you have not seen the video of emptying the water out of this planter, you should watch it, even if you fast forward, because it is amazing. See that hole there? Richard drilled hole there, a couple of holes down there, and the water come out for a good 10 minutes. It's a very interesting video to watch. Not that I'm trying to plug my videos, but yes, I am trying to plug my videos. Here we go. We have a tree spinach grown from seed, and I just think it's pretty because of the beautiful pink. I have another tomato in my little system. These are the last sort of knock-ins of the ornamental cabbages. I think they need to go really. Oh, I got 2 of these, 50p a tray, more lobelia, so I need to stick those in around the edges of the circle. And then I have all these geraniums, which is just, I think, a beautiful bit of colour for this area. I just think that's fun. That's a lot of fun. And I've just mimicked, this is the aeonium from my very good friend Jules, which is doing okay. And we have the exact same on this side, another tomato, more nasturtiums, and another tree spinach. In the greenhouse, there is not anything growing in the greenhouse. We have a sample of fake grass. Those plants are all fake, because they were in my office, and I thought, well, at least it looks like. Now, and look, I need to tidy, don't I? I'm surprised Richard has not told me off about that, but yes. So, I mean, the greenhouse has been so useful, but there's nothing growing at the moment. However, I do have some plans for some more seeds. And this is the other rows. Now you can see that I had to do these rather ugly hooking system because it was all in a rush, and that's all I had because the rain had knocked these roses and they had fallen forward and they were just resting on the top of that planter. So basically I've just hooked them all up, so that needs a little bit of attention. And then finally, these are the hanging baskets, which had the fruit cocktail mix, and they were done in collaboration with my very good friend Nikki. The everyday life of an OCD-ish chick, that's what it's called. Her channel is lovely and she is lovely. So there's my garden in July. I'm sorry if this video has run on rather long, but people say to go slowly, and Richard was going to help with this video, but I think maybe he can do the next one. He was going to tell us, which I think is a good perspective, of what he likes and what he doesn't like. in the garden. It's his garden too, and he, as you know, does an awful lot in this garden, so he deserves a say because he is fabulous. So there we go, that is my garden in July, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Well done if you've stuck around to the end, listening to me going on and on. I do appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. You are fabulous. And have fun in your gardens, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you very, very soon. Goodbye, everyone.